All right, let's start. So, in this particular chapter, we have already discussed computer hardware. Computer hardware, we know, can be classified into two types, namely internal hardware and external hardware. So, at the very start, remember we discussed that a computer system is made up of two main technologies, hardware and software, right? So, today, our topic of discussion would be what is computer software. So, first, we will have a look at what is software, how can we define the term software, and then we could look into the details of in terms of the types that we have when it comes to software and so on. So how would we define what is software? Anyone who thinks you know how to define it? Yes. Okay, you're saying that software is intangible. So that would be one of the characteristics of software. How would we define software in terms of its purpose? How would we define software? Okay, so, well, we can say that the term software uh, defines all the programs that are run on a computer. That's one way of defining a software. You could say that software is a term used to describe all the programs that run on the computer system. On some occasions, it would say that software are the programs that make the computer function. Software is a set of programs that make the computer run. So there are so many different ways of defining what software is. If we have a look at what is given here in the book, it says software is a general term used for programs that control the computer system and process the data. So this is also one of the ways of defining software, other than, of course, all the different definitions that I gave. So it says software is a general term used for the programs that control the computer, make the computer function, and that are responsible for uh, the data, a processing of the data that is being input by the user into the computer. Now, software may be classified into two types or two categories. We have application software and system software. These are the two broad categories that software may be classified into: application software and system software. Now let's have a look at the difference between the two, application and system software. So application software first, then system software. We will define both in terms of their purpose. What is the purpose of application software? What is the purpose of system software? And then we will get into the detail of the various examples of application and system software. Okay, so what is application software? It says application software provides the services that the user requires to solve a particular task. Application software provides the services that a user requires to solve a particular task. Now, this is one way of defining what software is, what application software is, but there are more ways of defining what application software is. So let me give you a few more, I would say, examples. Now, one of the ways of defining application software would be that it is a set of those programs, or it is a set of programs that allow the user to perform a specific task on the computer. It is a set of programs that allow the users to perform a specific task on the computer. Now, when I say a specific task, what do I basically mean by that? Well, when you type in a letter or a document, is that a specific task that you do? Or you make a presentation, that's another specific task. You play a game on the computer, that is a specific task. And similarly, say for instance, you use a drawing package to make a drawing, you listen to music, you watch a movie, you browse the internet, you store data in a database, you perform some calculations using formulas and functions and produce graphs or charts using a program like Excel. Yeah? Aren't all these specific tasks that you are doing? In terms of their nature, all these tasks are different. Hence, we have many different types of application programs. The purpose of each is to allow the user to perform a specific task. And it is according to the nature of task that we want to do that we would decide or that we would choose a particular application program. Because we do know that every application program is suited to performing a particular type of task. Hence, if you know that the task that you have to do is that you have to produce a document, a Word document, or maybe it is a text-based document, then you would not be using something like a spreadsheet to do that. You would know that you would be using a word processing software, such as Microsoft Word. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Similarly, if the task that you have to do is that you have to create a presentation, then you would use a program like PowerPoint or any other presentation software because that would allow to perform that particular task. So similarly, when it comes to performing many different types of tasks, there are different types of programs out there that are particularly suited for doing that particular kind of task. Hence, you will choose an appropriate program that allows you to do that task in the best possible way. So all these examples that I gave you of tasks are done or are performed using some sort of an application software. Now, if I go back by the definition that I gave, I told you that an application software refers to a set of programs that allow the user to perform a specific task on the computer. And then I gave you all those specific examples. Is it clear? Yeah? Okay. What is system software? So first, in terms of definition, we are going to have a look at the difference between the two. And then, as I said, we would get into the details of the examples. Now, what is system software? It says, system software is designed to provide a platform on which all other software can run. A system software provides a platform on which all other types of software can run. Okay, now this definition might not describe a system software very well. Okay, so I'll have to elaborate upon it. Okay, what is the basic purpose of system software or system programs? Well, the basic purpose of a system software is to make the computer function, make the computer run, allow the user to communicate with the computer. This is what the basic purpose of system software is. Now, we do know that computer is a device. In terms of its hardware, it cannot do anything on its own. It needs a software to operate it or to make it work. Do we all agree with that? Yeah. So, software is the driving force of the computer. It is the software that makes the computer work. So, in terms of different types of software, like we just looked at what application software is, which is particularly meant for the user to perform various tasks. System software, as opposed to application software, is a set of those programs that actually make the computer function or that control the working or running of the computer. Because there is there is some program that controls the way how a computer functions, allows the computer to execute or perform things that we instruct it to do. So there is something that is making the computer do it, or that is making the computer obey all those commands that we give it. Yeah, so it is the system software that makes the computer function, runs the computer, controls the working of the computer, and also makes it possible for user to communicate with the computer. Now, this last part, allows the user to communicate with the computer, is an important part. What do I exactly mean by this? Well, uh, you have a computer, say for instance, it's a nice piece of machine, well designed, and it's the latest machine, say for instance. How do you operate it? You operate it when you turn the power on. The first step is turning the power on. Yeah. When you turn the power on, you start seeing something on the screen. Yeah. You start seeing something on the screen, and then your computer, once it is gone through the startup phase, shows you the desktop. Shows you the desktop, sits here, waits for the user to start communicating, start giving it the commands. Is that right or not? Yeah. Okay. If you turned the computer on and you did not see anything on the screen, would you be able to communicate with the computer? There's no way that you will be able to communicate with the computer. Yeah. So basically, what we need to understand here is that from the moment we press the start button, it is the software that takes over. So whatever we see on the screen is the intangible part, the software. Okay. And it is this intangible part that we see on the screen is what allows the user to communicate with the computer. If, as I said, we turn the power on, I said it's the latest machine, but there is no software loaded on it. You keep on pressing the power button, nothing would happen. You would not see, if you do not see anything on the screen, nothing loads up as a program. How are you going to communicate with the computer? So this basic interface that you see on your screen right now, which is known as the desktop, what do we call this? The desktop is actually part of the system software. So hence, I was saying that system software is a category of programs that do not only make the computer run, make it function, control its working, but also allow the user to communicate with the computer or provide the user with the interface to be able to communicate with the computer. So this is what the basic difference is between application software and system software. Is this clear? Any question, anyone? Anything not clear? Okay, one more question. This, let me minimize everything again. This desktop that you see, I'm saying that this is part of system software. Can anybody tell me which particular program it is that shows you the desktop? Operating system is the actual term. Very good. Technically, it is the operating system. But which operating system are we talking about here? Which is the main operating system that we normally use on our computer? Exactly. It is Windows. So Windows is that operating system, or for that matter, the system software that allows us to communicate with the computer. Had there been no Windows, there would not have been any desktop. And if there was no desktop, we would not be able to communicate with the computer. Yeah. Okay. We have spoken about the importance of system software as far as a computer is concerned. Can you give me an example of system software being used elsewhere other than a computer? Smartphones. So when we say Android is the system software or the operating system on your phone that provides you the interface to be able to communicate with your smartphone. Or for that matter, iOS in case of Apple computers, sorry, Apple phones, iPhones. The iOS is the main operating system that allows you to communicate with your iPhone. When it comes to Apple Mac, okay, the Mac OS, parallel to Windows is the Mac OS. So, which main operating system or system software do we actually use on Apple computers? It is the Mac OS. Mac OS means operating system. The Mac OS on of course Windows-based systems, we use Windows as the main operating system. Yeah, and then of course I've just you know talked about operating systems or system software being used on other devices as well, other than computers, such as Android and iOS. So I hope that the difference between application and system software is now clear. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that, in terms of the detail that we need to know, uh, is that we would be talking about application software. You know, its examples, and then we will look at the various examples of system software. Now, if you look at this flow chart, how many examples do we have here of application software? Well, we have word processor, we have spreadsheets, DBMS, control and measurement software, audio video editor, graphics editor, CAD, apps and applets. These are all examples of application software. Okay, these are all the examples that are given here out of tens of hundreds of examples of application software. Yeah, these are just a few common ones. Okay, we all know what a word processor is. What is the purpose of this type of a program? It allows manipulation of text document, for example, creating text, page formatting, spell checking, etc. Apart from many other things that we can do when we use a word processing software. All right. So we do know that whenever there's a requirement of typing out a text document, of creating a text document that has a certain formatting, well, we will be making use of some word processing software such as MS Word. So that's a specific task that we can perform. All right. Okay. Spreadsheet. What kind of a program is a spreadsheet? Okay, spreadsheet is a generic term. Which program on our computer, on a Windows-based computer, generally represents a spreadsheet? Excel. Yes, good. It is Excel. Organizes and manipulates numerical data arranged in rows and columns. We are able to produce graphs, okay, and carry out different types of calculations such as what if analysis or what if calculations, and do a bit of modeling. We'll get into the detail of this a little later because modeling is also part of our course. And what computer modeling exactly is something that we will discuss in detail in one of the later chapters. But right now we just have to understand the purpose of a particular program. So spreadsheets are those programs that allow you to manipulate or process numerical data that consists of numbers. Yeah. And how does it allow us to do that? By being able to perform different types of formulas and functions on our numeric data. Large number crunching, I would say. I mean, any calculations that would be very difficult for us to perform quickly or that would be very time consuming to do, spreadsheet would allow us to do those very, very quickly, would save a lot of time. And the kind of formulas and functions that we can use are, uh, are actually quite a lot in terms of the different ways in which numerical data can be manipulated or processed. It also allows us to present any numeric data in the form of graphs or charts, yeah, such as a pie graph, okay, such as a line graph, a bar chart, or whatnot. So we can present our findings in the graphical form using graphs or charts uh, on the data, numeric data that we plot on a spreadsheet in the form of rows and columns. Columns are the vertical parts of the sections, whereas rows are the horizontal sections of a spreadsheet. Yeah. Okay. What is a DBMS? Stands for database management, or particularly database management. S would stand for system. Does anybody in this class know what is a database? Any idea, anyone? What is a database? I think you might not have done it in your junior classes. Anyway, yeah. So I'll quickly tell you what a database is, and then of course what a database management system is. All right. So database management system is of course the program that allows us to create and manage databases. Database management system is the program that allows us to create and manage a database. Now, what is a database? Well, let me give you a brief intro to what it is. Um, in our everyday life, we deal with data. Sometimes lots of data, on other occasions, we may not have a lot of data. But every organization, every institution that operates on earth, okay, whether small or big, has data to deal with or works with data. Now, it is very, very important for these organizations to make sure that all the data that they need on a day-to-day basis for whatever work that they are doing is kept or stored in an organized form. Does it make sense? If the data that you have to use on a daily basis is not stored or not kept in an organized form, would it be easy for you to use it for your day-to-day tasks? No, it won't be. Yeah. So, what are databases? Databases are a collection of data kept or stored in an organized way. What is a database? A database is a collection of data stored in an organized way. That is what a database is. So, let's talk about your school. You think your school holds some data? What kind of data does your school hold? Students' information, yeah, your academic information, information about all the staff that there is in the school, the teachers, the admin, the custodian staff, everybody. They are a part of the human resource of the school. The student body, the most important part of a school. Of course, your school is storing or is keeping data about each and every student who is studying in the school, and other types of data that I just spoke about. If the school did not keep all that in an organized way, if it needed to access any particular student's data for whatever purpose, would they be able to do that? They won't be able to if it is not lying in an organized way. Yeah. So your school definitely holds all your data in a database. So there's a database that your school uses where all the students' data, other types of data such as staff and whatnot, is stored in an organized way so that whenever the school wishes to use any of that data, they can grab it, they can have access to it quickly so that they can use it efficiently. All right. So this is just one example that I gave you. What other examples come to my mind randomly? Well, how about airline companies, banks, businesses such as supermarkets? Yeah. How about clubs and societies? How about an intercity bus service, cinemas, theaters, even a school tuck shop, even a school tuck shop, government departments, your national identity card authorities, general stores, you name it. Hospitals, doctors, patients, data is everywhere. And all these organizations, whether any one of these, I mean, you may have a small hospital, you may have a large hospital, it doesn't really matter whether it is small or large, okay, or how large the company or the organization or the business is or how small it is. They are using data or they are dealing with the data, and it is absolutely imperative for them to make sure that it is kept in an organized way so that it can be used in an organized way efficiently, proficiently, without wasting time. So what is at the back end of any organization? It is that where all the data is kept. It is databases. So what is DBMS? What is the difference between a database and a DBMS? DBMS or database management system is the program on the computer that allows you to create and manage a database. Sorry? Organize, organize and manage or manipulate the data. Organizing is like being able to store it properly. Manipulating means being able to use it for your purpose. For example, searching a particular data item. If I do not need a data item anymore, I need to delete it. What if I need to make changes to any particular data record? I should be able to do that. Okay. What if I want to add something new? All these would include it in manipulation or manipulating data in some way or the other. So isn't it a specific task? So DBMS are, this is why DBMS are also examples of application software. Database management systems are also an example of application software. So whenever there is a need for creating and maintaining or managing a database, you know which program to use. Is it clear? Okay, very good. What should we do next? I think we can talk about audio video editors. Let's talk about this. I will talk about control and measurement software later, but let's first talk about audio video editors. Uh, I think this must be pretty self-explanatory. Is it or not? What does it allow you to do? Let's see. Allows user to edit, manipulate, and generate sound files and video entered or stored on a computer. We can edit, we can produce, edit, record sound using some audio software, audio editing software, let's put it that way. Whenever we have to edit or manipulate uh, a recorded video? Well, we will have to use a video editing software. Has any one of you in this class used any video editing software ever? Yes, as expected. I think uh, you would have used one. I mean, quite a few of you would have used some video editing program to edit some videos. Can I know in what capacity did you use it? Anyone would like to share it? Okay. Oh, you have used Audacity for audio editing. Oh, that's great. Anybody who has tried his or her hands on video editing? Video, editing a video? You? What did you do exactly? All right, all right. So you have an idea of what it is. So basically, whenever the type of task that involves editing of audio or editing of video, we would be using an appropriate application software to do that. So just a moment ago, you gave this example of Audacity. Okay. So what is Audacity? Audacity is an application software that allows us to edit audio. Very simple. Movie Maker is a video editing software. Uh, Premiere Pro is a video editing software, and of course, Filmora for that matter. Just a few examples out of many examples that we can think of when it comes to programs that allow us to edit videos. But all these are examples of application software that allow us to do this specific task, which is edit videos, edit audio. All right? Okay, very good. Graphics editor, simple. Programs that allow us to create and edit graphics, such as a Photoshop. Everybody is familiar with Photoshop. So what is Photoshop? It is an application program that allows us to create and edit graphics in multiple ways. Yeah, pictures, other forms of graphics in multiple ways. We can do lots of editing on that. Okay, we can make it better. We can add effects. We can change the size. We can crop it. Just a few very basic things that you would do in any graphics editing program. Another example that I can think of is Illustrator. Allows you to create graphics from scratch, new graphics, such as if there's somebody who wants to design a new logo, okay, you can use a program like Illustrator, allows you to create, manage, manipulate graphics. So again, a specific type of task that you're doing. So you would have noticed one thing, that in all these examples, uh, we have been talking about specific tasks in terms of their nature. So it is for this reason we say that every application program is suited to only a particular type of task that we can perform. And as a user, it would be important for us to know as to which program should we use if we are you know if we have to perform a particular type of task. Okay, and then within that nature of task that I'm talking about, we may have multiple options of application software that we may use. Like we were just talking about video editing. So we spoke about at least 2 3 different types of application software that are used for the same purpose. So depends upon which application software you feel more comfortable with. Somebody might feel more comfortable with using Fireworks. Okay, others might feel more comfortable using Premiere or some other program, but the purpose is the same, and that is video editing. Yeah. Okay. So I think we can stop our discussion here for today. We have discussed how many? Very quickly, we have done with word processors, we're done with spreadsheet, DBMS, audio video, and graphics. Now we are left with control and measurement, CAD, and apps and applets. So once we are done discussing these, then our discussion on application software will be done. Or I mean, we would have discussed all the examples of application software, and then next we will move on to examples of system software. Any questions, anyone? Okay, that's great.